Ah, wonderful. And now here on the garden aisle, we are enjoying a beautiful rainstorm, which I am sure will please Queen Lamiko quite a bit. So welcome back everyone to the Pomera tribe, and we are continuing on with the political intrigues and the demands that our new line of royalty are really placing on all of the members of her tribe. So Queen Lamiko, as you guys may remember from last time, has decreed that before the end of her life, which is actually coming up really soon, she is hoping to see at least over 100 food. And she's actually going to kind of be cracking the whip and being very, very strict with everyone, including her children and her heir, Prince Cuckoo, to see that they can hopefully be able to gather up that food before she passes on. And one of the things that she's actually going to be doing this time, and it's going to be the very first time we've ever done this, is she is going to punish one of the members of her tribe. So Queen Lamiko is not going to put up with those who will not contribute to the betterment of the tribe. And there is a certain someone who has not been helping out with the Pomera tribe pretty much at all, other than having babies without permission and kind of just being a drain on the tribe, and that would be Rosie. So precious Rosie is almost old enough to be an elder herself, but really her whole life she's never really contributed a lot to the tribe other than children, not all of whom were very healthy. I don't think any of Rosie's children really were healthy enough to go on to become breeders in their own right. They can do some things. For instance, Taroku is one of her children, and he can actually take over for the berry bushes, so he's going to be a good berry collector. Not a great berry collector, but a pretty good one. Her daughter Lako is actually a better berry collector, and her daughter Lako will come to learn from her brother, and her daughter Lako can go ahead and collect up the nuts under this tree. So, oh, look at that. I didn't know if you had oh no, I must have just had 2 nuts. For some reason, I thought that was like her cracking ability, and I was like, yay, she can get 2 nuts per nut, but that's not really how it works. Cough, cough, don't mind me. Anyway, Lako is gathering up the food and being able to contribute to the tribe as she should, but Rosie really can't do anything. She cannot contribute to the tribe in any way. She can't bring in any food for real. She hasn't been able to get any of the moles. Is she gonna save herself? She might save herself, you guys. So she can go ahead, but I think she's kind of lazy. She could go ahead and gather up that root, but younger Cupio, who doesn't really have a lot of alternatives for how he can gather up food, I think he would beat her to it. I think he would beat her to it because he has been loyal. He has been diligently collecting up the roots. Why would Rosie start now? But she has been summoned by the queen, and she is actually going to probably end up banished by Queen Lamiko, who does not have time to see the tribe be weakened by those who won't contribute. Even her sick son, Nuku, who's on his deathbed, even though he is in the early stages of his life and diligently trying to raise his daughter, Izanara, even her own son, who doesn't really have a lot of skills and he's sickly, is bringing in food all of the time and helping to collect nuts and teaching his daughter all sorts of things about how to collect up berries. Unfortunately, she can't collect up nuts too, but she can do some fishing. So we may send her out to do some fishing pretty soon. Are there any roots nearby? There is a root. So see, even her granddaughter can collect up these roots too. Everybody else is contributing. So Lamiko, especially because she knows her son Nuku will not live much longer past her own long life, will not have any sympathy for Rosie, and I think that we're actually going to experiment with our very first banishment. So Rosie has gained the Omega rank. And I should actually put Prince Cuckoo at the alpha rank as well. So that's kind of our twist that we have going on over here. I hope you guys have been watching the past episodes, because we are moving at a record pace, for me at least, with some of the stories that we have going, and also with some of the genetics that we are purring over. So over here, we're probably not going to have any more children because we are below that 100 food that the queen wants to see before she passes away. But Rala has been very diligently having her rose garden of children, Rosie's descendants actually, with Rasar being one of Rosie's sons. And we do have several healthy, beautiful females who will be having children with Tata, also known as Clay, also known as you're the reason that people are probably confused out of their minds yesterday. Since renaming him caused a crashing error that the first one I've ever had, and remember, this is early access, you expect those kinds of hiccups to happen, but You can keep your name Tata if you want it that bad, Clay. But once he and the others come of age, the females are not of age just yet, then they'll be able to have the first healthy children, more or less, on the island. We finally have managed to completely get rid of the short-sighted eyes, and I'm really crossing my paws that we will be able to keep it that way. I hope Tata will not have any no-paw children. Any no-paw children will probably be gently escorted out of the garden. This garden area is the only spot where I'm trying to be super duper strict about genetics at the moment, because we have so much of the island to explore. I figure by the time we work our way over to the jungle area, unless we have some really mega random mutations that are going to make super strong creatures, it's going to be a little while before we get to the jungle. So for now, I'm just trying to get like no paw out. I'm just trying to get hemophilia out. But I say, as Tata has both of those things, have to acknowledge that there's a huge problem with not having immunities be really varied now. I don't think you can do all of those things at once, but having weak immunity will kill your creatures. It is killing Rasar. It is killing Rosie. It is killing one of their other daughters, Willow. Those ones all have doubled up immunity, and that is killing them more so than maybe getting scratched with hemophilia, and more so than not being able to collect food with like a no paw. So I think hemophilia I might have to just let go of to some extent, and I'll focus on keeping short sight out, keeping the immunity genes varied so we can have some health, and then my next goal will be keeping no paw out, and then hemophilia will have to fall to the bottom of the list of concerns. And of course, after we do all of that, we can finally focus on trying to get in stealthy paws and twisty stinky skunk tails and all of the cool new features. Good grief, it's really hard to have a healthy tribe. Oh my goodness, this is ever hard. All right, with all of that said, let's go ahead. We'll have everybody gather up like some different bits of food. As long as everybody collects up a little bit of food, then Her Majesty is usually pretty forgiving. And Clay can go ahead and find a third amazing nest. I think we're going to definitely use this section as our genetic experiment zone. Right over here, Rosie, she's got some good collector, so we'll have her collect up from here. Violet, we'll have Violet scooch over. Rosie will collect for Violet this time, because Violet's actually going, ooh, there we go. Violet's going to scooch down so she can break open that clamshell, and so she can break open the nuts. I think the Queen's forgiving, especially of the young ones, as long as you're at least making obvious attempts to collect food, then I think the Queen is pretty forgiving, but Rosie never does that. All right, and Rala, what can you do? Rala would be really good at cracking, so she can step over here with her daughter, and she can collect up this clamshell, and then they can work over towards the tree. Willow is also really good at cracking. She's also very young, so Her Majesty would not be too upset that the little one couldn't bring any food. But even over here with Roro, who is not particularly healthy because he has short-sighted eyes, he is always constantly taking care of the berries and doing what he can there. So everybody else has been pulling their weight and really trying to contribute to the tribe, except for Rosie. So we may have our very first banishment on our hands. Dang it! Dude, you were explorer. You were explorer La. All right, you're gonna be named La Larco now because I don't know your name. I need to be more careful about making sure I'm not moving around with the Wazda, because then you get really odd names. It's almost like the goddess has decreed you get a new name because you messed your old name up. Anyway, doing pretty good over here. Kutana, I think he was gonna look for clams. So I think that Her Majesty is a little bit more forgiving about her children, but Kutana is quite the adventurer. I think that the Queen really loves his unique appearance. He's quite enchanting that way. So if we can find somebody he can mate with, the hemophilia is kind of like the royal family secret, that gene is still hanging out, and the no paw will have to be forgiven because it was a bit of a muddying of the family blood after all, since the children that Her Majesty ended up having were actually from, and let me jump her over here now. We're actually from our visitor, the tiger tribe, who should hopefully be able to contribute quite a bit of food for their side pretty soon too. Alright, so yeah, we've got a lot going on. I've been enjoying the development of the story, but I apologize if it's been a little tedious. Sometimes it takes a while to get going, and especially when Clay makes things crash, and I have to spend forever explaining what happened. Alright, so Prince Cuckoo definitely would be forgiven if he didn't bring in any food, because, come on, he's the prince. He's got C and B, normal eyesight, pretty darn healthy. We need to find a really lovely female that he can have as his mate, but that's a long ways away from now. For now, I wonder where the prince will go. He probably needs to stay close by. So I'll just have him kind of keep an eye on the Peace Garden. This is kind of like a secluded spot that royalty can watch over the lovely Peace Garden, where the ancestors, if they're lucky, manage to make it before they pass away. Well, alright, so now that it has been a very busy day that way, so many sickness, so many sickness, so many sickness. Ah, so much sickness. Now that that has happened, then yeah, we're down to 50 food. So I think that we're gonna have Rosie come over here. She's been summoned by Her Majesty, and Her Majesty Queen, we'll let her daughter kind of gather these up just in case. Her Majesty Queen Lamiko is going to, you should be Alpha, is going to banish Rosie from the tribe, because Rosie has not been contributing, and the queen is quite upset that her dreams of having the power, the food, the glory will never be met because there's too many creatures. Everybody's too busy. So Rosie, you are now banished. And she has been tossed out of the tribe, and Her Majesty will come over. You better run, Rosie. You better run. Who knows what's gonna happen? She's on her way out now. And then, yeah, the queen, let's see, we'll have her, oh, nope, you better, I'm telling you, Rosie, you better run. Her Majesty is probably going to allow everybody to attack you if you stick around. Izanara actually might enjoy that. So yeah, Izanara is kind of chasing, what? Izanara is trying to chase you away. I don't think her mom would disapprove. And I think the prince is going to come over, and he'll have to talk with his mom for just a moment. And she might have to discuss what she wants to leave behind to her son. So Queen Lamiko is going to be very upset that she's not able to work on the stores of food that she so desired. So she'll leave that task to her son. And Rosie has now been banished from the tribe. That's very interesting. It's kind of fun to see how that works out. All right, so now that that has been done, Tata, you are good at berry collecting, so you can stand right over here and do that. Let's see, I'm gonna have Rala jump over here. Oh, there's a whole berry thing over here, and she can gather up that. And then Violet is young, so she'd be forgiven for not collecting something right away. Little Rosie, she can probably, yeah, this Rosie's sick, so she can probably come over here and help out with those. But this Rosie and Tata, excuse me, Clay, can start having children in a bit. But I think Her Majesty would just, until Her Majesty dies, I don't think anyone's getting a chance to have any more babies, because Her Majesty would not be pleased with how things have turned out. She had such dreams of showing off her strength before she passed on, and now that may never be realized. All right, good. We got a root from him. Oh, thank goodness. Oh no, little Willow. Willow, you're still young. Go quickly. Get down to the tree before Her Majesty banishes you too. All of the creatures know that she's serious about it now. So Roro is busy doing his collecting. We have regrowing grass up there. Lalarco. Uh-oh. Well, you better find something, Lalarco. Oh, thank goodness. Okay, he found a whole new berry bush and a nest. I think discovering something new can also give you a reprieve from Her Majesty's decrees. So that was lucky. All right, we'll gather up those berries. The hunter is able to contribute by finding another berry bush. And he'll clear out this area. Yeah, Hunter Darnu has done a good job of exploring. So the hunters are usually forgiven because they get to explore. We'll go over to the tiger tribe in just a second. All right, but yeah, Her Majesty doesn't have much longer for this world. I think she would have a lot to tell her son. And Cuckoo, I think, would be quite upset when his mother passes away, knowing that her dream was never realized. So I wonder what kind of legacy he'll leave behind, especially when he gets a little bit older and the time comes for him to take a mate. All right, and then we have a cute little Kutano, who's going to be zipping around collecting up what he can. nibbling on what berries fall down. There's so many berry bushes over here. Really, if we move some of the tribe members over here, we'd have tons of food. So I think that maybe Prince Cuckoo, if he decides to follow in his mother's footsteps and actually work on her dream, may really focus on having collecting fingers. Perhaps the most attractive feature that one of his future females could have are collecting fingers. And then if they can gather up like lots and lots of berries, that may become one of the most attractive things that a female tribe member could do. Or even a male tribe member. Cuckoo doesn't care as long as you bring in that food. All right, so then over here, we finally have T. Zakir, the heir of the tiger tribe. And we are going to try to set things up so that he can finally have the tribe that he's always wanted. So he's over here. We'll get both the females pregnant really quickly. And then they can step up. We'll have this one step. Oh, there's a whole berry bush over here. I bet she's excited. And Minako is one of the mates. She was actually a political exchange, the princess from the Pumera tribe. And she has been exchanged in return for the first 3 children that Zakir had. And that's actually Prince Cuckoo is taking over that spot. So we'll go ahead. Minako can gather up that nut and have a little nest. And then we'll have Isana step over. And I guess there's enough room for another nest over here too. I don't know if it's an ideal spot for a nest though. I really feel like the best spots for nest tend to be like, let's listen and smell. Ooh, there's another berry bush over here. So that might be a good spot. I feel like the ideal spots for nest are right on top of the soft grass, because then it's like the soft grass grows under the nest. So those will be perfect. We'll have the tiger tribe establish themselves down here. And here we have Little Frog. And so Little Frog has long been a kind of unofficial member. Well, she's been an official member, but like not really a recognized member of the tiger tribe. And she'll start collecting up some materials and bringing materials and reporting back on what she's discovered while she was left on her own while he went back to bringing back the mothers of the tiger tribe. So that's going to be pretty fun. And I'm going to put in... Yeah, nimble fingers and velvet paw seem like good things for all of our creatures to have for a little while. So I'm going to leave those there because T. Zakir is hoping that his children won't inherit his no paw again. And then let's see. Is that everyone? So many stories, so little time. All right, so T. Zakir is the only one who's going to be having a child with Princess Minako now. So let's see. A little girl! Oh, and she got hit in the head by a nut. That was hilarious. Oh my gosh, you poor child. I've got to name you something after a nut now, and you can crack open nuts. And why are you sick? No. Why? Oh, that's so sad. All right. She has nimble fingers though. Jeez, that was hilarious. I'm going to have to name her. Let's see. There's walnuts, there's pine nuts, there's almonds, cashews, Kasimi. She's going to be Kasimi after like a really random way to say cashew nut, because that was pretty hilarious looking at her and then like a nut falls on her head and bounces off while I'm staring at her. So that was pretty darn adorable. Congratulations, Princess Minako. You now have your very own young daughter. We'll go ahead and clear away the grasses and gather up that berry so you can feed her. Looks like there's a bunny over here. I think Anna might want to eat it. All right, so Anna's going to go ahead and eat the bunny, and she'll have to have her child next time. I think she was a little hungry. And then Ta Zakir can gather up berries, so we'll have him move over here and clear out that area so we can put the nest there. And there we go. There's lots of bunnies here. That's good. That's good. So those two will realize that they weren't banished to some sort of terrifying, far, far away place forever. And there's lots of moles. So now that they are here and they're having children, wow, that was pretty hilarious with Kashimi. But now that they're having children, hopefully they will realize that they are part of the tiger tribe and they don't have to panic about being here on the outer edges. So all of the striped children will really want to keep, especially with the ram horns. That's going to help out with strength, and we'll have to see what else we end up with. Hopefully we'll end up with healthier children as time goes on too. All right, so that was interesting. That was pretty fun. Let's see. And we finally have some that are old enough over here. I don't think anyone's going to have any children until Her Majesty passes away, though. So Her Majesty is getting pretty old. Queen Lamiko has used up her time, so she is going to say her final goodbyes to her son, leave behind her dreams of a legacy where there's so much power. Really, it's not the food and the security the food brings, but the power that having lots of food has, and that she wants to really stress that to her son and her heir. Don't make the mistake she did. Be more ruthless with determining what all of the tribe members should be doing. Don't trust that they're going to gather up food the way they should on their own. Banish anyone who cannot provide food for the tribe. And that may actually end up causing a lot of interesting genetic changes. So with that, Queen Lamiko is going to go and take her place amongst the ancestors in the Garden of Peace. And truly, even though she is a bit of a more ruthless queen, everything she has done, while also propelled by self-interest, has also been for the good of the tribe. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So rest in peace, Queen Lamiko. She was really quite fascinating to be part of. And then her son Nuku. Oh, Nuku! I think Nuku has to say goodbye to his daughter. So Izanara, I think that Her Majesty will forgive you if you spend just a moment. And I think Nuku, he's going to pass away now too. So I'm going to say he's going to pass away right over here with his daughter. So Her Majesty, I think that would be one of the things that she really feels strongly about. Her very firstborn son, who should have been the crown prince, the heir to the royal line of the Pomera tribe. He is going to be passing away the same moment that his mother is. And there's something beautiful and sad about that. And Izanara, who's kind of like a casual princess, I think she's going to be a wanderer. In fact, to escape the fact that she's not able to gather up a lot of food, not easily at least, I think she'll take on the wandering token and she'll wander away. And she may even, let's add the law in front of her name, inherit the traditional and not recently used La title, which means her life will be devoted to exploring. And I think that really the queen doesn't want to have any explorers, and she'd really crack down on that, but she makes exception for her children and grandchildren. And speaking of which, we have curious little Kutanu. So Kutanu, ooh, Kutanu, can you get him? Can you get him? Oh, maybe he can get that mole. We'll have to see if he'll be able to get that mole. Nope, not able to get the mole. All right, Taroku, excuse me, is over here collecting up the berries. His sister is working diligently on the grass and the nuts. Grass can probably count as a resource too, because you need it for nest. And then Lalarco, can you smell anything, Lalarco? Lalarco can't smell anything, but he did, oh, there were some roots right over here. He did uncover a new nest and a new bush, so that too can be forgiven, gathering new resources. All right, Roro's collecting up what he can. And then we have Rala. Rala will allow her daughter Violet to go ahead and show off the new bush so that Violet can be forgiven if she wasn't able to collect up any food. And then we'll clear away some of these and Rala will gather up that. Willow can go ahead, and she's still young enough she can be forgiven even though a rock in her way. All right, so there we go. And then we'll clear away Tata. You'll have to grab your requisite addition. So he grabbed the berry. Wait, we lost their father! Oh, I didn't even notice Rasar! Oh, Roro, your brother passed away because he was so sickly. Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. I think Rosie would be very upset about that. And we'll have Rosie step over and actually become pregnant. Because really we need to get as many of Clay's children, Clay's children as possible. So we'll have him breed. And then I think Lily, these two will breed because they miss their father. And it's just kind of like their way to try to get over mourning. So we need to get Tata's genetics spread around since he has D and H immunity and also the violet eyes and the panda pattern and the stinky tail. All things that I'm quite interested in seeing. So he's going to get alpha rank, and so is Lily, who's my healthiest, most awesome of our garden of females. Not Willow. Maybe Violet. Yeah, Violet, because she has the collecting ability. So there we go. Yeah, we'll have lots of babies being born over here in a second, even though we don't have a ton of food for it, because I need to get as many of those immunity genes from Tata as possible. And let's see. And there's our little Princess Samara. And Samara may have a chance if Tata comes over. Rumor of Tata and his health may reach Prince Cuckoo, and we'll have to see if he'll command Tata to come over and spread those genetics, because I need those immunity genes. All right, so all of that said, can we hear? Oh, there's so many bunnies. Oh, and there's a new nest, or there's a new, bunny. Oh, geez, bunny, Bunny? Hi, Bunny. Okay, oh geez. All right, Hunter Darnu is definitely having a good time of things. So Hunter Darnu doesn't have to worry about bringing home the food today, that's for sure. Oh my gosh, there's a lot going on down there. All right, so that covers a whole bunch. Good, 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 good. And I think what we're going to do now, and let me check. Let's see. Yeah, we have cracking, so you can help out with the nuts there. I think what we're going to do now is just end with Queen Lamiko and Nuku passing on now. It really has been quite an amazing and interesting life for Her Majesty the Queen. I've really loved her. She's one of the strongest royal figures we've ever had. She's done what she can to contribute what she could during her lifetime, and now her legacy is going to be left in the hands of Prince Cuckoo, her royal heir. So rest in peace, Queen Lamiko, and also your son, Nuku, your firstborn. It's so sad! And so many sneezes and so many berries and so many new babies. But alright guys, we're gonna have to see what our very first newborn baby inside of the garden tribe looks like. Crossing our paws for healthy ones. I really hope that they're healthy. Maybe they even got one of the fun mutations that we are trying to breed into the tribe. We'll have to let Her Royal Majesty, now she's passed on. And I think that Prince Cuckoo is going to put out the call and try to hopefully find a mate or two of his own to bring to the royal tree, hopefully pretty soon, to carry on the family line. But he is young yet, and I think first he will command everyone to continue the work that his mother left behind and gather up quite a bit of food, which also equals power in this tribe. So we'll have to see what the reign of Prince Cuckoo will be like. We'll have to see if the tiger tribe, who is kind of reclusive and nomadic, we'll see what kind of life they manage to have, carrying on the legacy of Dar and Remy and the very old stories that they have from being part of the tiger tribe. We'll have to see just how many bunnies Hunter Darnu can stuff down his mouth at once, because wow, that's a lot of them. And we'll just start poking around and seeing what our little dang it, no pod newborns look like. And we'll do our best to have some beautiful healthy babies and eventually make our way to the jungle island next time. So I'll see you guys then. Bye bye.